Hey, it's Paul. Welcome back to B&B Talk. I need you to do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Now, the first thing we see is Maya, and she's pretty nervous about how her folks are going to act at the wedding rehearsal dinner. And now, we then see Eric, and he tells Brooke that he thinks that Julius is a piece of work. So he definitely has his radar on, and he knows what Julius is like, but they hope that they'll be on their best behavior. After that, we see Nicole, and she tells Zende that she doesn't think her dad is really trying, but for Maya's sake, obviously she hopes so. Now after that, we see Julius, and he's pretty forward. He lets himself into the mansion, and once again, he and Vivian start looking around, and Julius is in awe of everything he sees. Now Rick greets Julius, and it's really all kinds of awkward. Rick tells Julius that Maya's friend Nick will be performing the ceremony, and then we see Maya come in and she greets her parents, and she gets a great welcome from her mom, and same awkward thing with Julius. He's definitely in a mood. Then we see Maya and Rick, and they're happy that her folks are on their best behavior. It's right after the rehearsal, and everyone's sort of milling around, and we see Zende, and he makes kind of the funniest crack of the episode. He says that he's been to 2 or 3 Forrester weddings. That is for every Forrester. And that gets a good laugh. And then Julius comes in, and Maya tells him that it's not going to be a religious wedding, and that her friend Nick will be handling the ceremonies, and that he just got himself sworn in. It'll be like a justice of the peace. Then Julius makes a crack about California freedom and walks away. So we see more of this. And then Julius is talking to Zende, and he asks him if he's really a Forrester, and he tells him yes he is, and how he became a Forrester. And then he makes another crack about the luck of the draw and how Zende became a Forrester. And then he hasn't done enough. Julius acts like a jerk when they're being fed caviar, and Vivian tries to make a complimentary comment, and he just makes a really degrading comment towards Vivian. So more of Julius, and at that point Eric and Brooke come up to Julius and Vivian, and Julius wants some alone time with Eric, and he tries to impress him by giving him a really expensive putter, and Eric's just kind of left flat because he doesn't play golf, and Julius doesn't really take that for an answer. He thinks, well, if I went to the trouble of getting this for you, you could take up golf. But Eric's not really having any of it, and eventually he walks away and sort of leaves Julius standing there with the putter looking awkward. Then we see Nicole, and she warns her sister that, Julius might be putting on an act, but it's never wrong for her sister to hope. And then we see Nick, and he's briefing Rick on how the ceremony will go and what he's chosen to say, and Rick says, it doesn't really matter because he trusts him. And then we see Julius start talking, and same thing, he hits another sour note when he talks about not being able to become a grandfather, and it's just more of the wrong stuff. Now, Nick meets with Julius and Vivian, and Julius starts questioning him about how long he's known Maya, and Eric cuts him off because he knows he's going on a fishing expedition. Then Julius goes over and starts talking to Nick, and it gets even worse because he starts telling Nick about this putter that he gave to Eric and asks if Nick plays golf. He tries to talk golf with Nick, and makes a lot of assumptions, and he's dead wrong, and he's hoping that maybe Nick will teach Eric how to golf so that he'll get some use out of that expensive gift, but it's not really his thing, and eventually Nick walks away. And then they start to toast a happy couple, and everybody sort of takes a crack at it, and eventually Rick gets up and says a lot of kind words about what he thinks about Maya, and all you can see is Julius with a creepy look on his face. Now, Maya gets some alone time with her dad, and she asks him whether he wants to be there and what he feels about her, and it's awkward for Julius, and he tells her that he's really trying and all this is new to him, and she says, I am who I am, and I'm not going to change. This is who I am, and I'm happy with this. So it's sort of like you kind of accept me or you don't. And Julius says that yes, he's trying and it's going to take time, but he does want to be a part of her life. And then after that we see Maya, she's talking to Rick, and she said basically Julius said everything that she wanted to hear. But Rick knows there's a bit of doubt in her mind, and he says there will be a few rust spots, but it won't change what they have. And that's all she wrote for this episode. I want to thank you for checking it out. The wedding should be spectacular. It's Paul, it's B&B Talk. Have a great day.